What we're going to do today is something we did back in 2015 here, and just because of the way life is, most of the people that were present for that have moved on. Everything from marriages, divorces, to prison. So, and that's no joke. But anyway, so we're going to do this with a whole new group of people, and what we're going to do is every one of you gets to participate. Okay? We're going to take this and we're going to turn it in to this today. Okay? Basically what we have is 10 inches of, I believe it's 1.25 inches. I haven't really, I keep saying 1.25 inches and I haven't really measured it. Actually, this is 1 inch crankcase. Okay? This was made, I believe this was made from 1.5 inch crankcase. Yeah, this would have been probably 1.25 inches, probably, because it's 1 inch now and it's been hammered on. But anyway, we're going to take this, and what I do first is I put it in a gas forge. I cut it with a torch and I melt the ends. Okay? As I'm cutting, so it doesn't go poink on me. Okay? Now you can cut it with a chop saw. I don't recommend trying to cut it with a bandsaw unless you've got really, really good blades. Okay? And the bandsaw teeth tend to want to catch it and shred it unless you wrap it in duct tape. Okay? You can cut it with a chop saw or a bandsaw. I don't recommend a bandsaw. And then before you put it in the forge, weld the two pieces on it. And I'll explain the two pieces. Well, you know what the long one's for anyway. It's a handle. Okay? So, I put that in the forge for probably 15 minutes. And I let it just burn all the oil and grease out of it. Okay? Now, the first time I saw Cable Damascus done was years ago in Pinckneyville, Illinois. Anybody ever been to Pinckneyville? It's not worth the trip. Shouldn't have said it. But anyway, I went to Hammering down there at Stanley Schwartz's shop. And it was Saturday evening. And we'd been forging all day. And there might have been some alcohol involved. But anyway, one of the guys had asked Stanley about Cable Damascus, and Stanley took a few classes down at Southern Illinois University. And if anybody knows anything about Southern Illinois University, they have one of the premier metalsmith programs there is. You can actually get a master's degree in metalworking from there. Darrell Mayer from Southern Illinois University actually was one of the key people in rediscovering how Damascus was made back in the early 70s, mid-70s. So anyway, this guy's talking to Stanley about Cable Damascus, and it caught my interest. Well, finally, I had a forge going, and Stanley walks over to the clay bank. You'd have to know Stanley. He walks over to the clay bank on his farm, and he reaches over, and he starts pulling, and he pulls out this piece of, I don't know, it's probably 1/2 inch cable, all kinked and everything. He says, cut a piece of that. So I cut a piece of it, and he says, now put it over there by your coal forge and let it sit there and forge something for a while and get all the oil and grease out of the cable. I'm looking at this rusty piece of crap and I'm going, there's no oil or grease left in that. But I did what he said, and I laid it there, and I'm just playing with something. I don't know what I was making, just playing, killing time. And I looked over, and sure enough, grease started coming to the top. After all those years, it still had grease in it. So anyway, don't skip putting it in either the coal forge or the gas forge and cooking it. Cook it real good, wire brush it, and then cook it again. Cook it twice. Okay. I don't take the cable apart. You'll read where some people take the cable apart. Some people take the cable apart, clean it, dip it in mineral spirits. They wrap the cable the individual big strands in nickel foil, and you put it back together to get a higher contrast. If I'm going to take the time to do all that trouble, I'm going to make real Damascus. You know, I'm not going to waste the time doing that with cable, okay? But everybody has their own thing they want to do. So anyway, cook it real good, and then once I've got it cooked, I take it and I weld just a handle on it, so I've got a handle. And then this piece here, I learned, I don't know, several tomahawks into it and knives, and I'm not a knife maker, don't pretend to be. But I learned that if you just take this and you clamp this in the vise, and you clamp onto here and you twist, you didn't twist this piece. It's going to screw up your pattern, okay? Not to mention you're going to end up unraveling this when you squeeze it, okay? So all this is for is to put in the vise. You heat this up to a good orange heat, reddish orange heat, and you put it in the vise, and you twist it, okay? I find that if you don't twist it with all your might, you get a little better pattern. You're not going to get a great pattern with this anyway, unless, like I said, you put some nickel in it or something. You're not going to get a great pattern with this anyway. But if you noticed on that, you do get somewhat of a pattern, okay? But anyway, once you got it twisted, then you cut that off. That's all that's for, is to give it a good, nice twist on it. Okay, that's all it's for. I had somebody say, well, can't you just twist that and cut that off? Well, when you cut that off, then you got to weld the end of it up, or you just botched everything up again. So it's worth the time, the whole 3 seconds it takes to MIG that on there or weld it on there. Once we do that, we're going to start welding. This was Wednesday's food pile. As many tomahawks and knives and things I've made out of cable, I've never had this happen. Okay? This cable, I've cut probably 8 or 9 pieces off of it, so I'm not going to blame it on the cable. It was not the cable's fault. It was idiot working the forge, which would be me. I had it, this was the 3rd pass. It was just about done. Okay? I pulled it out and I saw the sparkles. And I knew I was screwed right there. A little bit of spark is fine. Sparkler, especially, as you know, this is high carbon steel. It's cable, but it's high carbon. They call it triple something pile, something or other. Anyway, they got a name for it. But anyway, I only hit it 1 time. You couldn't get a cleaner break. What we'll do is there'll be 3 individuals. 1 here, 1 here, 1 here. I'll be here. I'll tap and I'll start. When I tap there, I want all 3 of you. Wham, wham, wham. And then I'll tap again. You have to watch where I tap, because where I tap is where I want you to hit. Because I want to see a hand down here and a hand up here. I want to see you like this. Or if you, however you're comfortable, okay? I'm right-handed, okay? I want to see you back here, be ready. Whap, whap, whap. That's what I want to see, okay? You can control it that way. You don't have to be choked all the way up here, but I don't want you down here. I want you somewhere up in here, okay? That way you can aim, okay? Deliver your blow and get back. Okay? Don't. That won't end well. Okay? So, that's why we're going to use 6-pound hammers. Yes, it would be probably quicker with 10-pounders or 12-pounders. Okay? We want accuracy. Okay? So that's what we're going to do today. Once we get the billet, I'm going to forge weld this the way I did at Kenny's. The way I did at Kenny's. I and I won't need strikers. Once I get that forge weld, then we're going to start forging it down to the billet. This is what we're going to make. It's a striker. Then we fold it over, and then we'll forge weld it again, and then we'll forge it out, and we'll use strikers to forge it out. Okay, most of the way. So, first pass, you'll see me put flux on a little bit at a time as I work down the piece. Okay? After the first pass, you won't see me flux it again. Flux is not going to do me a damn bit of good. I've already got the outside forge welded, so the flux isn't going to do any good on the inside. So I flux it on the first pass, second pass. I do 3 passes more for my own mental well-being than anything. That's a pretty good chunk of steel, okay? And I'm only going to flux about 2 inches of it. Now at home I usually have a pan under this can to catch what runs over. But you don't want to go real deep in that fire. You want the oxygen to get burned off before it gets to the metal. Now, with this being high carbon, it also welds at a lower temperature. Okay, and being high carbon, you really don't want sparks. You're already doing damage to it if you have sparks. With this not going to be an actual tool, I'm not going to get real particular about it. If we got a few sparks, we'll be all right. If we got too many sparks, we'll know it. When you start with this, it's kind of like mashed potatoes. Kind of like hitting mashed potatoes.
John, why were you doing that all this stuff?
So that you got it cupped. If you try to do it up here, it's going to want to flatten out. I do it there to keep it from cupping, or keep it from flattening out. Now, can you hear the difference from what we had a while ago? This is just the first pass. Okay? Now, we're going to move backward a little bit. We're going to move on back. Now we're going to move down just a little bit. Hear that mashed potato sound? Okay, are we ready? You have to hit where I hit. Watch where I hit. power hitch here. Why don't you give me a tap? Just a tap. Sorry. No.
Small iron shop.
No, they're in the same place, other guys are.
Where you think you will?
Yeah, yeah.
It's okay.
Okay, right now.
And I had, well, what I did, I did what he told me,
He had one in red and
on
one.
the site itself. And all the rules, the checkers. I bought that for guys a few years ago, when it was over going over the Illinois. I'll tell you, they bought $11. He sells them, I guess, for like, for the currency, $2.59 or $3.99,
Okay. Ready? Softly. go with that. I believe we got her though. I believe. No. So. Is what it
Like
is.
3 pieces wrapped around it.
Yeah.
Hunt it. Loose. Feel it on that last one.
I heard it.
Yep. Come up out of there.